For Thursday, February 12th, 2026. The time now is 11:35 in the morning. Board Secretary, please take a roll call.
Trustee Ahuna,
Present.
Trustee Akaka, Trustee Akina,
Aloha Kako.
Trustee Alapa, Trustee Galuteria,
Bill.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihe'e,
Present.
Chair Kahele.
Present.
You have 9 trustees present. You have quorum.
Okay, this meeting can be viewed via live stream on OHA's website at www.oha.org/livestream and also on our YouTube page, and will be rebroadcast on Olelo TV. For those joining us on Zoom to testify or listen, please note that we're using the webinar platform rather than the standard Zoom meeting format. As an attendee, you'll be able to watch and listen to the proceedings. And if you wish to testify on a specific agenda item, please follow these steps. 1, please raise your hand to indicate that you'd like to speak. 2, we'll change your status from attendee to panelist when it is your turn. This may take a few seconds, so we appreciate your patience. As a panelist, you have the option to turn on your camera and unmute yourself to provide testimony. And once you've finished testifying, please mute yourself and you'll be returned to attendee status. The first and only item on our agenda today is our executive session. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
Yes, we have one person signed up. We have Jermaine Myers.
Okay, thank you.
Kalamaya. We have one more person online that raised their hand.
Jermaine is online. Oh, great. Welcome, Jermaine.
Good morning.
Morning, Jermaine.
Good morning.
You are recognized for 5 minutes.
Mahalo. Aloha, honorable trustees. My name is Jermaine Myers. I'm an OHA beneficiary for Beneficiary Advocacy and Empowerment. I testify in support of Stacy Kealohalani Ferreira because what happened to her raises serious concern about transparency, whistleblower protection, and the rule of law within our public institutions. For nearly 2 years, Ms. Ferreira faithfully served as an administrator at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. She did her job, and when she became aware of conduct she believed was unlawful, she did what the law expects public servants to do. She reported it. That is not insubordination. That is not misconduct. That is protected activity under Hawaii law. The Hawaii Whistleblowers Protection Act exists for moments exactly like this, to protect employees who speak up in the public interest, especially when the employer is a government entity. The statute is clear. Retaliation is prohibited. Yet according to the public court record, immediately after Ms. Ferreira reported concerns to the Attorney General, Chair Kahele agendized and convened a closed executive session on September 23rd, 2025. That session resulted in her removal from office without providing her with specific charges and without transparency to the public. What deepens our concern is what followed. Rather than allowing these serious statutory claims to be heard in open court, as the Whistleblowers Protection Act and Sunshine Law contemplate, the response was to attempt to force Ms. Ferreira into arbitration. Not arbitration that could fully address her claims, but an arbitration clause that is explicitly limited to breach of contract disputes and expressly bars the very remedies whistleblower law provides: reinstatement, statutory damages, and attorney's fees. In plain language, this was an attempt to move a public accountability issue behind closed doors, using a contract that was never designed and never agreed to waive statutory civil rights. That matters because if whistleblower claims can be buried in private arbitration, if sunshine law violations can be shielded from discovery, And if public officials can retaliate first and explain later, then transparency becomes optional and accountability becomes selective. This is not about whether one agrees with Ms. Ferreira personally. This is about whether the law applies equally when the whistleblower works inside a powerful institution. If we want ethical governance, we must protect those who tell the truth, even if it is uncomfortable. If we want trust in OHA, we must show that no one is punished for following the law. And if we want future administrators to act with integrity, we must make clear that retaliation will not be tolerated. Supporting Stacy Kealohalani Ferreira is not an attack on OHA. It is a defense of OHA's highest obligations to beneficiaries, to the public, and to the law. I look forward to the opportunity to share my community concerns with you following your executive session, particularly as they relate to the legacy of an important historical figure in the early history of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Kia kuapu, God bless all of you.
Anyone next? Testifier, Lewa?
Yes, we have one more person online. We have Pikachu Billionaire.
Okay, great.
You can unmute yourself once you move over, Pikachu.
Aloha, my kako. Aloha, kakayaka. Trustees, can you hear me?
Yes, we have you loud and clear.
Great. Aloha, Kai. Good to see you guys. How are you? I'm sure you guys got my email. So I'm currently in the Pokai Bay with the Waianae Moku Kapuna Council. You can't see them behind me because of the background. But I wanted to address a couple issues. Thank you, God, you're giving me 5 minutes. I thought I had to say everything in a minute or less. But, you know, I've been testifying for all the bills. So thank you to CEO Summer Silver for coming out to Waianae, the neighborhood board. So I testified on every single bill possible, you know, for the upcoming OHA bill packages, HB 2102, 2103, 2104, 21, 2100, 2105. But we also got HB 2584 coming up today at 2 o'clock. And I already sent you my testimony and example because this has to do with the Public Land Use Commission. And according to my math, just in case you guys didn't know, at the Waianae Neighborhood Board, I confronted the governor's office to ask them how much is the state ceded land revenue. Give me a number. I'm Asian. I can do the math. Move the decimal times 2. So I ran the math. The estimated income is $394 million. 20% of that is 78.9. Currently, OHA only receives only 21.5 annually. That's capped at about a 5.4 interest. So we're short out of the 78.9 million, $57.4 million. We're getting robbed every single year. We're not counting inflation, deflation, taxes, depreciation, the esteemed values, and also reparations that the Hawaiian people would want. So we have a lot of stuff going down. And if you look into my testimony, I'm just going to hit the highlights just for the public record. Thanks and shout out to Jermaine Myers from Nanakuli for doing something, for representing the West Side. Pikachu got to do something from Waianae because I did watch the meeting from yesterday for the community benefit engagement. Shout out to Trustee Brickwood because he was there running the meeting with everybody there. But I noticed nobody did public testimony. So Pikachu was here to make sure we do the public testimony. Then at 2 o'clock, not only do you have your meeting about the Public Land Use Commission, which is very important because I know they're finagling and laundering the money. You're not getting the total amount. Somehow we're going to figure that out. But to address the concerns, I put it in bullet points. We have low community testimony turnout. There's inefficient coordination between the OHA stuff to me and the advocates, meaning like people like me and in between you guys. They're doing a good job, but we only got 4 out of 6 going through. We can do better use of the digital tools for engagement. You guys are doing great on Facebook. And there's funding shortfalls hindering some programs. There's lack of strategic follow-up through legislative wins, and there's a beneficiary disconnect. So allow me here talking to everyone in Pokai Bay. They're not engaging. They're not testifying. They're not sitting testimonies even in support. Some of them are going through thanks to the, top of the example. So it's good stuff. A lot of people are complaining, what does OHA do for us? Like, Pikachu, what do we get out of this? Some people even have a hard time figuring out how to get the $350 paperwork. So moving on, I want to be solution-oriented with the time left. So point 1 was to enhance community outreach immediately. That's why I'm reaching out to you guys. I sent emails out to all the trustees and the community advocate team and Summer Silva, because I know we can do this better to be more efficient and effective. And two, you can coordinate grassroots advocates, obviously like me, Kalahui Hawaii, whoever you guys need to push more things forward, doing more events and fundraising every month, develop a digital advocacy hub, push for more PLT transparency and funding. That's why I called Trustee Akina's office yesterday, because I know he's like an accountant, better glasses with me with the red flags, so you can analyze the numbers. What's the true income and what are we really supposed to be getting? Number five was measure and report engagement metrics, because what's measured can be done. Incentive participation. And so that's pretty much what I already said in testimony. I want to shout out to all of you guys. I know you won't be able to answer all of my questions, but I do want to say, with my time left for the record, I do not trust the DOJ. I saw the horrible mess by AG Pam Bondi, and I am definitely talking about justice for the Epstein files and the victims, because a lot of them are Native Hawaiians who are going to the human trafficking, drug smuggling trade. I know a lot of bad stuff on the Big Island. We're working things out with the chief of police and other things. But if the DOJ is corrupt and Pikachu can't trust him with the AG for justice, I would implore you guys that we can figure things out in our own way, the Native Hawaiian way. And I'll leave the rest to you guys. With the time left, aloha.
Do we have anyone else signed up?
No one else has signed up.
Okay, can we get a motion to go into executive session pursuant to HRS section 92-5? So moved. Any discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka. Aye. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Mahalo. And Chair Kahele.
Aye.
We have 9 yes votes. We will be moving into executive session.
Okay, welcome back to the meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Office of Foreign Affairs. Chair would like to report out that there was no action taken in our executive session. As the board met in executive session under its legal matters under 92.5A4. And we met with board counsel Paul Alston, as well as OHA legal counsel in respect to the agendized civil matter, and no action was taken. And that would be OHA civil number 1 CCV 25-000-1822. Okay. Right, trustees, we are now moving to the latter part of our agenda, and we have community concerns as well as celebrations and announcements. The chair would like to say a few words and take a moment before we go into community concerns to clarify the community concern portion of our agenda. You know, community concerns are an opportunity to set aside time to hear directly from our beneficiaries and community members about how OHA's work, our decisions, and our conduct are affecting them. It is meant to elevate the community's voice, not to serve as an alternative venue for issues that properly belong at this table. Individual trustees have many opportunities. Indeed, they have a responsibility to express our viewpoints, whether those viewpoints are supportive or critical, during agendized discussions and deliberations. That is where trustee debate belongs. Our governing framework explicitly encourages independent judgment and open, respectful deliberation, including the expression of dissenting views. What gives me pause, though, is when community concerns are used intentionally or inadvertently in ways that undermine the character or reputations of fellow trustees or of our OHA staff, who are not elected officials and who come to work every day in service to this agency's mission, not personal or political agendas. As fiduciaries of this trust, we have an obligation to protect the people who carry out OHA's work. We also owe one another professional respect as colleagues. Healthy disagreement is part of good governance, and our beneficiaries should expect us to wrestle openly with difficult issues. What they should not expect is for community members to be placed knowingly or unknowingly in the position of advancing internal grievances, personal disputes, or reputational harm that we are unwilling to raise ourselves directly, appropriately, or courageously. Allowing beneficiaries to be used as intermediaries for personal critiques, to read ghost-written testimony, or to advance unspoken conflicts is not pono. It places an unfair burden on our community and risks eroding trust in both the process and the institution. It also challenges our duty of impartiality, which requires us to remain neutral and not favor or leverage any beneficiary group or beneficiaries in service of internal disagreements. What also gives me pause is when beneficiaries are exploited, when they are used as proxies to deliberately wage personal attacks on trustees or on staff, and then immediately following a meeting, depart the OHA Lāma Kukui campus in a vehicle with a sitting trustee. In my opinion, this is unacceptable, and this must stop. We're all capable of addressing concerns with clarity, with courage, and with accountability, without causing unnecessary harm. I carry with me a deep respect for those who came before us, for the legacy of public service that they modeled, and I believe strongly that we can advocate passionately for positions we believe in while still honoring one another's dignity, speaking the truth plainly, and keeping our debates where they belong on the record at this table. My hope is that we can all commit and recommit to using community concerns as it was intended, a space for issues genuinely sourced from community experience, how we govern, how we show up, and how our decisions affect the Lahui. And when used in that way, it strengthens accountability, trust, and our collective ability to serve well. That is the standard our beneficiaries deserve, the standard our staff should be able to rely on, and the standard that we owe one another as stewards of this proud inheritance. So at this time, Lehua, do we have anyone signed up for community concerns?
Yes, we have 2 people signed
Mr.
up.
Chair, may I have permission to respond?
You can do so in the announcements.
Okay,
Okay.
if that's the appropriate
Sure.
place, I would like to respond to the comments you've just made.
Lehua, do you have anyone signed up for community concerns?
Yes, we have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is Jermaine Myers.
Okay, thank you. Jermaine? Okay. Welcome, Jermaine.
Aloha. Aloha, Honorable Trustees. My name is Jermaine Myers. I am a resident of Nanakuli on the Waianae Coast, and I rise today to share a community concern grounded in history, place, and kuleana. Today, I want to speak about Frenchie DeSoto, a Waianae wahine whose life and leadership were foundational to the creation of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Frenchie DeSoto's story matters because it reflects the very reason OHA exists. As Senator Clayton He once shared, Frenchie DeSoto did not begin her career in positions of power. At one time, she worked as a janitor at the state capitol. Yet from those corridors, she learned how power functioned, who held it, how it moved, and how it often excluded Native Hawaiian voices. That lived understanding helped propel her to become a delegate to the 1978 Constitutional Convention, a historic gathering that reshaped Hawaii's constitution and gave birth to OHA. That moment was not symbolic, it was structural. It was the Lahui insisting on a permanent constitutional mechanism to steward Native Hawaiian trust resources and advance our collective well-being. Frenchie DeSoto was part of that foundation. She later became OHA's first board chair, setting standards that would shape the institution long after her term. Senator He once said that for most people, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and Frenchie DeSoto have a tight connection. And that connection, he noted, is unlikely to change. That is not because she was easy or agreeable. She was strong, she was focused, she was unapologetic in her beliefs. Her son, John DeSoto, reflected that when she began, people questioned her background, even her name. She was Hawaiian German, and that alone caused doubt in some circles. But as he said, it was not her name that defined her. It was her determination, her discipline, and her unwavering dedication. Those words matter because they speak to a broader truth about the Waianae Coast. I share that mixed heritage, Hawaiian and German, and my grandparents were original settlers of Nanakuli in 1930. Nanakuli, Maili, Waianae, and Makaha are distinct communities, but we share one coast, shaped by resilience, ike, and a long memory of exclusion paired with strength. I don't raise that to center myself, but to acknowledge continuity. Frenchie DeSoto's advocacy did not come from abstraction. It came from place, from lived experience, from understanding what happens when decisions are made far from the communities that feel their consequences first. Even those who disagreed with her respected her. Senator He described her as passionate, focused, and one tough wahine. She set a standard, not of comfort, but of courage. That legacy is my community concern today. OHA was created through the labor, discipline, and sacrifice of leaders like Frenchie DeSoto. Leaders who believe that Native Hawaiian rights require more than rhetoric. They require constitutional grounding, institutional accountability, and a moral obligation to future generations. As OHA continues to make decisions that shape land, resources, and governance, I urge us to remember that foundation. Remember Wainai's role. Remember the Wahine who helped build this institution from the ground up. Honoring Frenchie Di Soto is not about nostalgia. It is about fidelity to the original intent, to community-rooted leadership, and to the standard she set. Mahalo for the opportunity to place this history and Wainai's rightful legacy into the record. Kea kuapu, God bless all of you.
Lehua, do you have anyone else sign up to speak on community concerns?
Yes, our second speaker is Raymond Sin.
Raymond. Hello, Raymond. Welcome, Raymond.
Aloha, happy Thirsty Thursday. I wanted to say that it's also Happy Lunar New Year, so that's why I'm wearing my lucky red. And you can't spell aloha without OHA. I'm Raymond Sin, active duty United States Air Force, former high school teacher on the 9th Island, Las Vegas, Nevada. Mahalo thank you for having me again, Board of Trustees. I've been on island for about a year for military service. Oahu is a great island. I wouldn't mind being stranded here. Anyone watch Jason Momoa's new movie, Wrecking Crew, about local island life here? I think it's great for the local economy. I'm very grateful also to learn about the local history here of Hawaii, its language, its culture. It is Mahina Olelo Hawaii, Native Hawaiian Language Month. And I want to give out a shout out, a big mahalo and thank you to Kumu Moku at the Kaimuki Public Library. I don't know if you can see that, but a couple of books in the library. They have some world-class books and resources. And I want to also share some of the other sort of Native Hawaiian cultural artifacts from this brand called Nakoa. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard with the Zoom screen. But they're a local company based out of Maui. Some of the designs here are amazing. And yeah, that's from Damus and Shana Kanahele from Maui. And finally, on the side of being an American citizen here and the American system that we operate under in governance and politics here, is the spirit of aloha and what that means to Hawaii. In 1966, Mr. Wilson Cannon, president of the Bank of Hawaii, he was encouraged all of his employees to wear an aloha shirt, not misattributed as a Hawaiian shirt. And this started in 1966. And because of him, the Aloha spirit spread to the rest of the mainland. So Aloha Friday became Casual Friday throughout the mainland and into corporate America. So this marks the 60th year of the Aloha shirts being worn during Aloha Fridays. And just going back a little bit earlier, during the 1930s, the Great Depression, Mr. Ellery Chan, he is the inventor of the Aloha shirt, Punahou graduate, Chinese heritage, sort of using the Hawaiian Poaka plantation shirt, the Barong Tagalog Filipino embroidery, Japanese kimono fabric, and Chinese symbolism with the tailored American button front dress shirt. So speaking of Chinese heritage, it is Lunar New Year, it is the year of the fire horse. So I want to say there's a Chinatown celebration, a parade, or a celebration for the new year this Saturday, the 14th of February. There's also a dog costume beauty contest, noon 12 p.m. at Chinatown Cultural Plaza Center, 100 North Baratania Street. So if you're into fashion or doggy style, you're in luck. It's going to be quite the treat. And if you like manapua and pork hash, you'll be at the right place. The Chinese Hawaiians I know, they're great at killing and roasting the pigs, and they will eat almost anything. Almost. In June 1963, the first US president of Irish Catholic ancestry or heritage, John F. Kennedy, he came to Honolulu and said this of Oahu: "This island represents all that we are and all that we hope to be. Less than 6 months later, in Dallas, Texas, President Kennedy was assassinated. It is our kuleana, our responsibility, to learn from history and our kupuna, our ancestors of the past. Ikua mamua, ikua mahope. The future and wisdom is found in the past. Mahalo, thank you, and aloha.
Thank you, Raymond. Lehua, do anyone else signed up to speak?
There's no one else signed up.
Okay. Trustee Akina, in accordance with Robert's rules, if you'd like to speak, you can rise to a point of personal privilege. So I'll allow you to request that.
Mr. Chair, I rise to a point of personal privilege if I may
Trustee
address the
Akina,
board.
state your issue or what
Yes.
you'd like to talk about.
I'd like to respond to the comments you made introducing the community concerns today.
Trustee Akina, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I want to thank you for your comments. One thing I have learned to admire and respect about you is that you state what's on your heart and in your mind. And I'm going to take at face value what you said as being your honest conviction about how I have behaved on this board. I do agree with you that it would be wrong for any member of the board to, as you say, critique or ghostwrite testimony, give it to a beneficiary, and use that beneficiary as a proxy to attack or to insult other members of the board or OHA. I'm in agreement with you on that. I wish that we could have this conversation in private together over coffee, but since your comments were made publicly, I'm responding. I have not ever done these things. I have not ever put a beneficiary up to testifying negatively about any colleague, let alone you. I do want to say, however, that in reference to the individual that I think we're talking about, who comes here frequently and testifies, that I know her to be independent. I don't agree with everything that she says, but she comes out of her own conviction and states what's on her heart. I say this because I want to rise to defending her integrity as well. It is the case that at a recent board meeting, afterward, I went over to her and asked if she was tired because she had been at the meeting for a long time. The schedule was not convenient for any beneficiary, and I asked her where she was going. She said she was going to the Capitol. Since I was going to drive by the Capitol immediately following the meeting, I offered to take her, which I did. Apparently, I was seen by someone who may have told you that I drove her there. That had nothing to do with the content of her presentation. We didn't even talk about it. We didn't talk about it before or after. Whatever she said was independent. I want to say these things to clear up the facts, but I don't want to miss recognizing that at some point you may have been offended by my action. That was not my intention whatsoever. And I want you to know that I support our honorable behavior according to the code of conduct here at this table. I want to make that clear and put that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Aquino. Trustees, do we have any announcements to make? The chair has several announcements, but I'll open it up to other trustees. Trustee Akaka.
Yesterday, I attended the Waitangi Day reception, and that was at the New Zealand official residence by the New Zealand Consulate General. And this was in celebration of Waitangi Day, which is held annually on February 6th. And it's Aotearoa's National Day, in which there's a commemoration of the 1840 signing of Te Tiriti, which is a Treaty of Waitangi. And Te Tiriti o Waitangi is the nation's founding document between the Maori as well as the British Crown. So back in 1840 with the Maori chiefs and the British Crown, there was the understanding that they would work together. And in celebration of this, it's a public holiday and it's focusing on reflection, historical debate, and celebrating of Maori culture. And I would be interested in pursuing in the near to later future and how we can be in celebration and collaboration, how we are able to with our cousins across the way in Aotearoa when it comes to rights and stewardship of lands and waters and so forth. And um, it has been an ongoing struggle for uh, the Maori, whether they live in Aotearoa or beyond the shores of Aotearoa, when it comes to exercising their rights and their very rights in their being able to celebrate their culture through te reo and education and so forth has come into question at the Paremata, at the parliament. And it's been of such concern. And I would be interested in seeing how we can further support them in the challenges that they have before them and also celebrate alongside them when it comes to certain historical matters and things that we can celebrate on together as an Indigenous people.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for representing us yesterday at that. Any other announcements? Chair Emerita, Lindsay?
Yes, I just want to announce that there is a hearing this afternoon at 2:00 on the House Bill 2584, which is our public land trust bill. And I would really encourage the trustees that are available to just go and show your face. Trustee Galataria will be testifying. I have a short blurb too, and if you just go there and say you support, I think that would make an impact. So it's at 2:00
Yep.
in room 325.
Okay,
So, thank you.
great. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Chair, several announcements. Tomorrow, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs is co-hosting Hawaiian Day at the Hawaii State Capitol. This starts at 10:00 in the morning and goes to 2 p.m. And our understanding is there's going to be a lot of Native Hawaiian organizations there and mele, and a good opportunity to showcase the Native Hawaiian community. And OHA is a proud co-host of Hawaiian Day at the Capitol tomorrow, February 13th, 10 to 2 p.m. On Saturday, February 14th, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. We are hosting here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs Lā Kukui Day. It starts at 8:00 in the morning. It goes to 2 p.m. Led by OHA's High Lāma Farden and other staff. Trustees and the general public are invited to attend that as well. And that will be a very special event with several manaleo that OHA is bringing in across from the state to this event. Some of our most revered kupuna and living treasures that are the keepers of our beloved Olelo Hawaii and our language. So we get a chance to see that, the return of Lā Kukui. Next week, Wednesday, the Board of Trustees is convening in its standing committee meetings starting at 9:00 a.m. with the BAE committee. Mahalo, Chair Galataria and Vice Chair Akako for your hard work on that, along with our advocacy team. And then on Thursday, February 19th, the board will be convening at 9:00. Agenda will be published and is forthcoming, but I did want to make a public announcement that to start the board's meeting next week, Thursday at 9 a.m., OHA will be hosting an informational briefing on the proposed merger of Hawaii Pacific Health and HMSA, specifically as how it could potentially positively impact or negatively impact Native Hawaiians and their healthcare, and especially rural Native Hawaiian healthcare on the neighbor islands. Native Hawaiians represent about 22% of the state's population, about 330,000. men, women, and children. And this proposed merger is very important for our beneficiaries. The chair has extended invitation to the head of Hawaii Pacific Health, Ray Vara, as well as the head of HMSA, Dr. Mark Mugishi. And we will also be, we are both in person and remotely hearing from Native Hawaiian doctors, especially those that serve rural communities, on the challenges they have on providing healthcare, private small practices, and the challenges that they face, and potentially how this HMSA HPH merger could affect them. So we're going to start right at 9 o'clock, and I'm expecting that will probably last about an hour. We'll get a chance to ask questions. And so for trustees that want to do your due diligence ahead of time on this particular proposed merger and basically Native Hawaiian healthcare as a whole, I encourage you to do that. I've also asked, we're in the process of asking our research and evaluation team to put together a one-pager on Native Hawaiian healthcare in Hawaii so that each of you can have a read ahead prior to the meeting. So that'll be next Thursday. That's all the announcements I have. Anyone else? Okay. Can we get a motion to adjourn? Trustees discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina,
Aye.
Trustee Alapa, Trustee Galuteria.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Souza,
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e, and Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 8 yes votes. We are adjourned.
Oh.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.